Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 4 of Nighttime. My name is Emily Aaron and today we are discussing UCF Soccer, volleyball, and of course our UCF football team. Stay tuned because Nighttime starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
All right, welcome back to segment 1 of Nighttime. This is already episode 4, and I want to tell you, Emily, you killed that intro, so great job there. But let's introduce my boy, my friend, Doug Smethers. Thank you so much for coming on. You weren't even supposed to come on until Tuesday, so thank you for coming on late notice, Doug. How are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk some soccer. Happy to be on.
Hey, I'm happy you're on, so let's dive right into it. Emily, we had a tough tie against Memphis. Memphis is solid. They have not lost at home. They've only tied or won, so this was a boring 0-0 tie, but nonetheless, we did tie. It's not a loss, so what were our takeaways from that Memphis game?
I think that the Memphis game showed that it was a close game, obviously, but it just shows that we're kind of on the same level as Memphis, which is kind of a good thing because Memphis is a pretty good soccer team. So even though it was 0-0, kind of boring score, it shows that we have the potential to keep getting better because we didn't lose to Memphis, we tied them, so I think that's pretty good. We had a total of 11 shots and 7 saves, and Memphis had 12 shots and 3 saves. So the point, like saves and shots wise, it's pretty even. So I think, that makes us look pretty good, I think. Doug, what do you think about this game?
Well, we did open our American Athletic Conference with a draw. We didn't lose, but we didn't win either. I'll take the draw. But like you said, we snapped our 4-game losing streak to Memphis. We didn't win, but we tied them. I'll take that. We snapped the streak. We showed that we're improving right now. But with Kristen Scott still out, I think our team's still trying to figure everything out. And each game is going to be a tough battle for us.
Right, we still have not had a win since Kristen Scott has been injured. More coming about that later, but I do want to say, you did say this was a boring game. Maybe not for Caroline Delisle. She was swatting every ball that came her way, as the score shows. So 0-0, not really the best case for us, but didn't lose to Memphis, so hopefully when Kristen Scott comes back, we'll be better. Now, the next game we're talking about is UCF tying Texas. Texas was ranked, I believe it was either 20th or 23rd, somewhere around that low ranking, and we tied them 2-2. Now, this was very impressive. We went on the road again to Texas, who again was ranked without Kristen Scott and still tied. Now, again, 2-2. Emily, what did you see from that game?
Well, we had a goal by one of the goals was by Diana Martin. So I don't think we've seen a lot of goals from her this season yet. So it's showing other players step up, and I know we have a lot of faith, and Kristen Scott carries a lot of weight on our team. Not saying our players are bad, but she's our star player. And with her not being there, we saw a lot of our alternate players really, really shine. And I think that that's great because it gives those players a chance to really get out there on the field and prove what they have to prove. And we saw that in the Texas game and the Memphis game. We have a lot of our alternative players playing, and it makes me happy because it gives them a chance, and I really, really like that. Doug, what do you think about all of our alternative players playing?
Well, yeah, they're all stepping up. They're all starting to make plays, and it's all starting to kind of come together. And we're starting to see this team really perform at times. We like Camden said, we just went on the road to ranked number 20 team and tied them on their own turf. We're showing improvements each and every week, and I'm excited for this team, especially when Kristen Scott comes back. If she can start putting even more goals in the net, this team will be unbeatable.
Well, you're absolutely right. You made a great point there, Emily, that this might be a good opportunity for these other players to kind of take that next step up and not be so reliant on Kristen Scott to just score every single goal for the team. I do want to say I did meet her. She is so nice. I just got to talk to her on Monday, but she seemed angry about the injury. So we'll see about what happens there. UCF is taking on Cincinnati in conference play back at home. Now, one good thing about this series is that we have not beaten Cincinnati on the road that much, so luckily this game is at home. Now, Emily, do you think we could beat Cincinnati if Kristen Scott is still unable to play?
As much as I don't want to say this, no, I don't think so. Last time
Wow.
we played them, we lost. We've only beat them a total of 3 times. I think, and that's, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not leaning towards yes, but it might be a close call. It might be another tie game, 0-0. It might be something like that because, we've had some time since we last played them. We totally could have gotten better, which I think we have based on all of our other games that we've been seeing this season. So there's a really hot chance that we can beat them, but I'm going to have to say no on this one. I don't think we can.
Wow, no timetable on the return yet. Doug, do you think we can win that game against Cincinnati?
I mean, with Caroline Delisle in net, I think there's always a chance for us to beat anyone. She's been a brick wall all season long. So if she maintains this, we'll always have a chance.
All right, I love it. I hope we get that win. Caroline Delisle, she's playing great. Hopefully these other players do step up. Now, before commercial break, we've got the Nightlight of the Week. Go ahead and put that graphic up. Now, your hint before commercial break is going to be that my Nightlight, her sister also played on our volleyball team a few years ago. We'll have that answer for you coming right back up from break.
Welcome to HCF Hot Takes. I'm Johnny Jackson. We've got Emily Aaron to my right and Maluka Costa to my left.
Hello and welcome to our segment of Hot Ones. I'm here with Noah Kemper and Grant
Wheeler.
Yep, I knew that. Grant Wheeler.
Listen, I'm a Bulls fan, but I just can't ever argue against LeBron. I watched him my whole life.
I've been going back and forth with this debate for a long time. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Whatever she wanted. I would wake up in a maid costume for Doja Cat.
Brutal.
Jeffrey Laux, no question.
Richie, I would give it to Richie.
It is not Richie. It is not Richie.
No, it's Jeff.
Richie's pronouns are he, they, because he cannot be him.
What?
Oh, wait a second.
I'm gonna have to also agree and say Jeff. He always is spiffy.
It might be Cameron. Cameron's had some good fits.
Out of the women, Norelli always dresses really, really cute.
Oh, that went so awful.
It's basketball.
College football, I think, is the best sport to watch. If you don't like soccer, it's because you suck at it.
I think college football is the best.
Thanks for watching.
If you guessed it, was Amber Olsen. This girl gets no love, and I know Johnny made a spotlight graphic. Too bad we're not going to get to see it. But she gets no love. She is like the assist leader of the team. She's averaging, I don't know, somewhere upwards of 30, 40 assists per game. She's doing all the dirty work and barely gets any credit for it. Now, let's bring it on back to everybody. We are here joined by Johnny Jackson, which I am so proud to have him here. This is a great opportunity to have him here. Johnny, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I really like what you said about Amber Olsen. Any offense has to run pretty much completely through that setter, and as much recognition as McKenna Melville definitely deserves, I think Amber Olsen gets lost in that spotlight a little bit. Because you look at it, I think she had like 39 assists in their game against Kansas. I mean, she's been phenomenal for her entire career, and I think Amber deserves a lot more of the spotlight.
Right, I believe she had her highest this year was 58 assists against Kansas State. Now that is insane. Emily, let's go ahead and throw it on back to you. We did take on the season, like the weekend series against those teams in Kansas. It was Kansas, Omaha, and Lipscomb. So how do you think we did sweeping all of them?
We did great, but first, I want to touch on that UCF is ranked number 25. Can you believe that? No, it's our volleyball team. Of course we can't, because they're amazing. Johnny, what do you think this means for UCF as a whole, our team, and for all our women in sports?
You know, I've been going to volleyball games at UCF since my freshman year. This is my 4th year coming. Ever since I first started going to these games, it's very evident how dominant our team is. I think we swept at least half of the matches we've played for the last 4 years. We swept Kansas at home. I mean, that is something that not a lot of teams can do, especially UCF. And I think that a lot of our women's sports get kind of lost in the shuffle of, oh, football, oh, baseball, oh, men's basketball. When our women's team went to the NCAA championship, March Madness, and our volleyball team's gone to the NCAA tournament also for the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, it does suck, especially when you see the attendance numbers that a lot of people aren't going to these volleyball games. They should, and they need to show up.
I think you're absolutely correct. This is a huge deal being ranked 25th, and to be honest, it's not high enough. All right, RPI, which is like the strength of schedule that we've played against, has us ranked in the top 10. So the opponents we've beaten, yes, we are 8-0. The opponents we've beaten Kansas, who, by the way, gave Texas a scare last night. Texas is the #1 team in volleyball, and they were up 2-0. Okay, so now they did lose 3-2, but Kansas almost beat the #1 team in the country, and we swept Kansas this weekend. So let's go and get on to that weekend sweep, Emily. We did beat Omaha, Kansas, and Lipscomb. Very impressive.
Yes, we did. Omaha was 3-2, Kansas was 3-0, and Lipscomb was 3-0. So we dominated that. It's not like it was a close call or, a tie game. Like, we had 3-0 scores. That is so impressive. I can't believe it. And we came to play in Kansas. We showed who we were. We came up there and said, here's UCF, and we're going to show you what we're all about. And that's exactly what we did. We dominated all 3 games, all 3 of them. It's not like 1 or 2. It was all 3. And that's an accomplishment in itself. That's amazing.
What's crazy is the closest game was against Omaha. Now, after last week, Mason did pull me aside. He's like, hey, I wanted to say Kansas is ranked. We should be worried about Kansas. And we went in there and swept them. Johnny, did you see anything from this Kansas game on how we destroyed them in their hometown?
I just think that I've seen God, and her name is McKenna Melville. It's just, she's been such a dominant force. I mean, you just feel the power in all of her serves, all of her kills. I mean, she broke the kill history in school. She's one of, I think, 4 active players in the entire nation with 2,000 kills. I mean, it's phenomenal. This whole team is phenomenal. And, Kansas didn't really stand a chance. It didn't feel like they were playing the same sport almost. That's how dominant this UCF women's volleyball team has been.
Johnny, I waited to tell you this till we were on air. I don't want to make you jealous, but I did meet McKenna on Monday. And let me tell you, she is one of the nicest humans ever. I hope we get the chance to meet her. But I just wanted you to know I did have an interaction with her, and she was amazing. So she is actually God. I do want to agree with you there. Now, Emily, like Johnny said, McKenna just broke the record for all-time kills in school history. The number to beat was 2151. Do you realize how many kills that is? Over 2,000 kills in a career, over 2,000 points in a career. Like, on any sport, that is very impressive. And especially at this level that she's playing, she's putting UCF on the map. How do you feel about McKenna finally being able to do this?
Well, we knew this was going to happen either way. She is a star player. This is not something that should have surprised anyone. This is normal McKenna behavior on the court. This is what she does. This is what she does all the time. And this is not only an honor for her, but it's an honor for UCF because, like Camden said, it's putting us on the map. It's showing us who, it's not showing us really, it's showing everyone else who UCF truly is. We have a great sports program and we have great players, and McKenna is one of those people. And I'm so glad that she is recognized for all of her accomplishments with our team.
Now, one thing I will say, Johnny, I'll ask you, when McKenna was talking about it, all she did was thank the team. Could not have done it without the team, could not have done it without the great support that she's had the last couple of years. So speak about how that is as a person, as she's not saying it was me, I did this, it was a team effort. Johnny, can you speak on that?
I think it does show a lot about McKenna's character. I mean, to have the kind of expectations that she's had, even coming out of high school. I mean, she's been like the star of this team for at least 4, if not almost 4.5 years now. And to have that kind of expectations and to not only meet those expectations, but to, I think we would all agree that she's far exceeded them. And to do it with such grace and such kindness and such humbleness. I mean, you see all these kids coming up to her after the game. She waits and she stops and she talks with all of them. It just shows you the kind of culture that UCF Volleyball and Coach Todd has kind of cultivated in this program. And I think it shows a lot. I think it shows how good of a school we are. I think it shows especially how great of an athlete and how great of a person McKenna is.
Right, I will agree with you there. Now, Emily, conference play, we do finally go back to that at Memphis this week, and then I think we have another game against SMU on Sunday. Memphis is solid. They've won, I believe, 5-6 games in a row. So, obviously, we have McKenna, and we have the rest of that great team. But what is it going to take to defeat Memphis on the road this Friday?
I think it's going to be an easy win.
Wow.
Because last time we played them, it was 3-0, and we have 22 wins against Memphis. That is crazy. And I think that, I think this will be an easy win. I think we got this. And with McKenna breaking her record, it's showing a lot of confidence in our team. We're going to go up there and we're going to kick some volleyball butt.
I love the enthusiasm, Johnny. I'm going to go ahead and ask you the same exact question. Do you think we're going to take down Memphis, take down SMU, start conference playoffs strong this week?
I really do. We're 22-11 versus Memphis all time. We are 11-15 versus SMU, but I think we swept them last year. I'm pretty sure we beat them the year before. I can't bet against UCF volleyball. I mean, they're just too good. They're too dominant. They're playing too well. They're playing too I'm sorry. The Amber to McKenna it's over. It's over. Why are they even showing up? Honestly.
Wow, that confident. Well, this team has absolutely been playing great. I hope that their ranking doesn't dip now that they're playing against weaker opponents that are in their conference. Hey, still a tough conference, should still be some good games, but last year we went 19-1 in conference play. That is amazing. Emily, do you think that we can continue this?
100%. 100% we can continue this because look at how we've been playing so far this season. It's been amazing. And whenever I talk about our volleyball team, I only expect the best because that's what they put out. They put out the best. And it's hard to not be the best when you have those players playing and you have that coach. So I think, we will continue to hold that 19-1. We got it. We got it. Every year we got it.
All right, Emily, go ahead and take us into your nightlight.
Well, my nightlight player is a senior on our football team. He is a wide receiver, and let's see if you can guess him after this commercial break. Hello everyone and welcome back. I really hope you guessed my nightlight player. He's a very, very good receiver. And this is Ryan O'Keefe. He has 13 total receptions and he's the second on our team in receptions. He's an amazing player and I'm so excited to see him play this season. We are talking football now. We are joined by Nate. Welcome, Nate. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I'm glad to be back on the show.
Nate,
awesome.
I got to ask you were pretty big on BYU last week, weren't you?
I may or may not have picked them last week.
You may or may not have. We're going to get into that later. I can't wait. They say when you win, say less or something. I don't know. I'm not going to follow it. I'm going to say more. So, anywho, Emily, go ahead. You could start us off with UCF football.
Well, UCF pulls away from FAU. We had a great win against FAU. That was I was a little nervous when I was watching the game. But we pulled through like we always do, and it ended up being a really great game for us. What do you think about this game, Nate?
It was really impressive. They got punched in the mouth early. FAU scored 14 points in the first quarter, and then they came back and held them no points the rest of the game. Second half, FAU only had 18 yards. So, their defense really answered the call. They were also without their lead linebacker, Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste. So that was really impressive. John Reese Plumlee bounced back. He had 460 total yards passing and rushing. So it said a lot about UCF's character that they were able to come back and play the way they did against FAU, who was really motivated to, heading into this game.
Well, we're absolutely going to talk about JRP in a little bit, but I do want to say, y'all were kind of overreacting after the first quarter of that game. I was reading your guys' messages. It was like, oh, can we tackle? Can we do this? And you look at the stats. This defense played very impressive the next 3 quarters after giving up 14 points, all right? I believe the final score is 40-14, but we absolutely dominated the next 3 quarters. Now, Emily, we got to do a little bit of, we got to bring it back a little bit, hop off of the JRP hate train. Mm-hmm. How did you think he played this week? Emily?
Better. I was thinking of a word to say. He definitely played better. He definitely proved all of my previous statements wrong. So that's great on his part. And I think he needs to prove himself against a better opponent, like later on. I mean, our next game, this week, is an easy opponent, so he's not really going to have much.
Whoa. Hey, let's not say that. They lost to Louisville. We don't know.
He's not really going to have much to prove. But I was very impressed, and I was really glad that he proved me wrong. I really wanted him to prove me wrong because I had so much faith in him. He was my first nightlight player. I really wanted to see him do good. He didn't do so great, in my opinion, in the past, but this game we really saw him shine, and we really saw him have great chemistry with the team and jump right back in and be the player that we wanted to see him all along. Well, at least me. But I was really impressed with him this game. I was really impressed with him.
Right, Nate, I don't remember your take on it last week, but it looks like JRP is going to get another week starting. Were you impressed with what he did this week?
Very impressive. The biggest question mark for him was his ability to throw, and then he throws for 339 yards. I mean, he, doing that, and he was able to run. He ran for over 100 yards too. He did everything for UCF's offense.
He had 20 carries. That guy was the workhorse. I mean, I don't know if they were just straight handing the ball off to him, but he was running almost every single play, it looked like, and he's fast. I'll tell you, watch him.
Yes, he's very fast. That's one of the first things I said when I was watching him play. I was like, wow, he's really fast.
Now,
he should join our track team.
I mean, he's already on the baseball team. What more do you want from this guy? Triple sport guy.
Add him on all the sports.
We could use him. But, Nate, I'm going to ask you, did you see the interception he had? Because that one was pretty blind. Like, he threw that right at the safety, and it was...
He hit him right in the chest, but, I mean, it's his 4th game since 2019. He's not going to be all the way back. It's still going to take some time to improve and get better. I mean, he did his job. I mean, they won 40-14. So
they absolutely did. So we're not going to slander him any more than that. All he had was that one bad throw, it seemed like. He definitely did look a lot better than he did against Louisville, obviously, and it showed. Now, something that does not get a lot of coverage, which I know I mentioned a little bit, let's talk about the defense. Doesn't everyone love just run stuffing and stopping the pass? Like, everyone loves defense, right? Woo, defense! So let's get to that. 108 passing yards given up. That is awfully impressive, especially without Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste. And after it looked scary in the first quarter, Nate, how did this team bounce back, only allowing that amount of yards?
Well, the biggest thing is they were able to when you hold a team to 18 yards in the second half, that's really impressive. And they had a huge goal line stand. FAU had a chance to make it a 1-possession game, and to get that, and then special teams coming through to block the field goal to keep them up by 9. That was really the big turning point in the second half and when they started to take over.
Right. Emily, anytime you give up only 14 points in the game, you're probably going to win it. This defense absolutely kept us in the game. Are you impressed with what you've seen so far this year from them?
I'm very impressed, and I'm very excited to continue to watch them. And this game really gave them something to prove, because at the beginning it was a little rocky, and then we were just literally proving who we were and setting a name for ourselves. And I really liked that, and I really liked that with Plumlee too. You saw the best out of every player, whether it was on offense or defense for UCF, and it's making me very excited for our game coming up on Saturday, which is against Georgia Tech. Even though I said last time we were going to beat Louisville, and we didn't, unfortunately, I really think we have a chance to beat Georgia Tech. I don't want to say it's a middle school team like I did for Louisville, because I feel like I shouldn't compare, because I feel like if I use those words, it might not be great luck. But I really think we have a chance to win against them. And Nate, what do you think about that?
They should win, but we'll see. They thought they should have won against Louisville, but they got ran all over by Ole Miss. They're kind of in turmoil. Jeff Collins reportedly was fired, and then he wasn't. So who knows? Pluto the Dog might be their coach by next week if they play poorly against UCF.
Well, I'll tell you, anytime we've got Ryan O'Keefe and Javon Baker lining up, those are like the Zach and Cody of the team, right? They are absolutely, those guys on the outside, they're going to put up big numbers against Georgia Tech. I can't wait to see those two receivers play. Emily, can we at least give Georgia Tech credit that they're a high school team instead of a middle school team?
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Fair enough. But we're a college team.
We are a college team, that is true. I know Night Nation is going to be bouncing. I'll be working the game, so if you look, my head will be straight down writing down stats probably, but I can't wait for that. Now,
very excited.
Let's get on to what I really want to talk about. I know you see it there on the prompter. BYU versus Oregon. Oh, I was loving this. Every single time Oregon scored, which felt like every 5 seconds, I was just looking at my phone waiting for a dang, Camden was right sort of message. Because last week, you guys absolutely tore into me about taking Oregon. Because I said, ooh, they have nicer jerseys, or ooh, they need a bounce back from Georgia. Well,
I mean, their mascot's basically Donald Duck. So.
Okay, well, they did bounce back from Georgia, though, didn't they, Nate, huh?
Oh, yeah, they did. That was easily the most impressive performance from Bo Nix. And for his whole college career, I mean, they did whatever they wanted to do offensively against BYU. It was super impressive, especially, everybody was down on them after the Georgia performance. But it's looking like Georgia may very well do that to everyone they play.
Now, I do want to say, there was a recruit at that game for Oregon. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he actually left after the Mormon chants went on there. So it looked like the Oregon fans were being very rough towards BYU, which, hey, we don't approve of that here. No slandering that. So, Emily, do you have anything you want to say about Oregon versus BYU?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Although I picked BYU, and I really wanted them to win, obviously, I am kind of glad that Oregon won because Oregon is in my Final Four.
That's right.
So this win is looking up for Oregon. So I'm not devastated, but I am sad that I lost between
primetime
me and
picks,
you.
yeah.
I'm very sad about primetime picks.
No.
But I'm glad Oregon won because that means they're one step closer to the Final Four.
I'm going to go and throw your own logic back at you because Baylor and Iowa State are playing each other, and you have Iowa State in this game, but you have Baylor going to the Final Four. So what's going on there with that?
I was just copying the BYU and Oregon game. No, I'm just kidding. I really think Iowa State has a chance to beat Baylor because we have a better quarterback and we have a better wide receiver. So, I mean, what type of players do you have? Not great. Our players' stats, our lineup of players have better statistics than yours do.
Okay, I will say, nothing ever goes well in Iowa. Iowa's kind of a bad state. We hate Iowa here. But
what does that even mean?
I don't
know. What does that even mean?
Hey, Ella in the
Camden?
control room, she knows. I'm just clowning on her. But Iowa State has nothing to do with Iowa. Nate, are you picking Baylor or Iowa State?
I think I'll go with Baylor because you may or may not be picking them.
I am picking them. I am picking Baylor. I have no clue where their quarterback, Bohannon, went. I think he went to USF, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't even know who their quarterback is. But Baylor looked a lot better against BYU than I feel like Iowa State has looked against any of the teams they've played. And Iowa State has already dropped a game. Who they even lose to, Nate? Do you know?
Who?
Iowa State lose to?
I think
I'm
they're
sorry.
undefeated.
Iowa State is undefeated. You're right.
Yeah.
So maybe you can use that. Yeah, okay.
Look at that. Let's fix our stats, Camden. Let's fix our stats.
While your team might be undefeated, Baylor's still being ranked and the underdog going on the road. I think they're going to win. All right. I like Baylor. I like their coach. Their coach is probably going to get a way better job at a better school. But hey, Baylor's always that team that goes 12-2 and competes for a Big 12 title. So I'm going with Baylor.
All right.
All right. Last thoughts about the game or no, Emily?
No, I'll give it to you, man. I'll give it to you. If Baylor wins, it's just like Oregon. I won't be devastated because it's getting them closer to my Final Four. But I really want to see Iowa State win. I think they have something to prove, and let's see it. I might be wrong, and I might be right.
Right. So
but I'm excited to watch. I'm just very excited to see
It's a win-win. Either you win primetime picks or your team that you have going to the Final Four looks better.
Goes. Exactly.
I guess it makes sense. Now, I do want to say next week I will not be on. Emily's going to be taking the show with John Alfano if he can show up to studio. I hope he's okay. But yes, them two are going to be doing the show, and they're going to do a great job. So, Emily,
sad to see you not be here, but
I know. I will be at the Ohio State-Rutgers game. So, Emily,
I'll make you proud.
Thank you. I'm going to let you close out the show and let you say goodbye.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning into Nighttime, and I will see you next week.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap.